Welcome to the PR Maven podcast, a podcast all about growing your network and building your brand through traditional and digital networking techniques. I'm Nancy Marshall, the PR Maven and CEO of Marshall Communications. Stay tuned for this week's episode, and thanks for listening. Welcome, PR Maven Nation, to this week's episodes, one of our mini episodes, a quick and informative look at the evolution of PR. The podcast is presented by Marshall Communications, creator of the 65-step Marshall Plan process. For more information, visit marshallpr.com. And on the website under PR Maven, you will also find information about my two books, PR Works and Grow Your Audience, Grow Your Brand. This week, I will be sharing my Forbes Agency Council article, From Typewriters to Tablets, The Evolution of PR. So let's dive right in. Consider how much business has changed in the last 6 months. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the Zoom call was not particularly well known at all. Within weeks, the U.S. economy shifted from the traditional workplace to remote everything, with social contact limited and virtual money making the norm. Now, consider how much business has changed in the last 4 decades. I often think about the evolution of corporate America, specifically in terms of public relations, one of the most rapidly changing industries around. When I started in PR, I used a typewriter. I felt lucky when I received a typewriter with an erase key, and I didn't have to use a whiteout to erase any typos. I also remember using a mimeograph machine to make copies of press releases to send in envelopes in the US mail to the media. Whereas sending emails and text messages now happens instantaneously, such technological efficiency was not commonplace in the 1980s. I often recruited people to stay up all night and help me stuff envelopes with the press releases before running them through the postage meter to send them out. And then, oh, by the way, I had to drive 20 miles to the post office. At one point, I was sending 1,400 press releases out every week by hand. With so many press releases, we helped the main paper industry immensely, but it now makes me cringe thinking how many trees were killed in the process. During the 1980s, the PR industry also relied on shooting videos with 3/4-inch tape and making duplicates of them for delivery to the TV stations. How were they delivered? In a car, not via email or iPad. Sometimes I personally drove 10 hours a day to hit the major TV markets. I would literally walk right into the TV station and hand them a videotape. Of course, then, like now, human innovation played a pivotal role. Without it, you would waste time and money without achieving your goals. As PR has progressed, industry experts have inevitably adapted and adopted new forms of technology that allow us to connect with target audiences. Moreover, we are now less reliant on the media to spread the word about a specific client or a given project. We can create our own content. In the past, media members held all of the leverage, and PR professionals scrambled and competed to pitch the best story. Today, we are scrambling and competing to create the best content, whether it's a LinkedIn post or a YouTube video. But that content is ours. 2 years ago, I started my own podcast. Earlier this month, I interviewed the general manager of a company where I worked in my 20s, and we laughed about how far PR has come. Back then, we needed a local TV station to conduct an interview that podcasters can now execute, and often even better. That is not to say that the media no longer matters. On the contrary, media members still wield tremendous influence, as tens of millions of Americans tune in to CNN or read the Wall Street Journal on a daily basis. Many journalists are experts in their beats, repeating their most complex news items with integrity, objectivity, and rapid speed. I respect journalists for what they do, and I regularly communicate with them, pitching stories, but also connecting on a personal level. But 21st century technology has democratized the content space. It is no longer centralized in the hands of Fox News executives or in the hallways of the New York Times. There are other options. People can rely on their favorite influencers for tailored content. With millions of listeners, it's no wonder that a podcaster like Joe Rogan can secure more than 100 million deal from Spotify when many people likely choose his interviews over Anderson Cooper's or Don Lemon's. In today's PR landscape, our relationships with media members need to be mutually beneficial. It's like dating. If the other person is interesting and interested in you, then you will pursue a relationship. If not, you will consider other options. In PR terms, a YouTube channel or Spotify podcast may now take the place of a traditional news outlet. This leaves us all with extraordinary power, whether we work in PR or not. Now more than ever, we are masters of our own content. We are masters of our own universe. So let's take advantage of it. For more insight, get access to my latest book, Grow Your Audience, Grow Your Brand, by visiting prmaven.com/giveaway and download a free copy today. And here is my good friend, Julene Gervais, to share how Grow Your Audience, Grow Your Brand has helped her.
Hi, I'm Julene Gervais, host of the television program Greenlight Maine. Nancy Marshall's book, Grow Your Audience, Grow Your Brand, helped our team tremendously develop a loyal following, and it helped us expand with 2 television programs called the Greenlight Maine College Edition and Elevating Voices. Plus, we've picked up 3 Emmy nominations. I highly recommend you read Nancy's book to grow your brand.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the PR Maven podcast. I invite you to share a review of the podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. You can also join the PR Maven Nation on Facebook. It's free to join, and it's a great community of like-minded individuals who are all looking to learn and grow from one another. If you use an Alexa device, use your Alexa app to search the Skills and Games section to find and enable the PR Maven Podcast Flash Briefing. This will give you access to exclusive content and more PR and marketing advice. Thanks again for listening, and have a great rest of your week, PR Maven Nation.